There we are, and look at that. To set
Kronos just had a stroke.
Hey, I was gonna say, to set the stage on fire, you need some fire casters, and who better looking than GD Ico, and of course myself. But yeah, I'm gonna say that. That's what I was gonna say. But then humana happened. Right now,
got slapped a couple times.
Yeah. You know, got tossed around for all we know. But of course, right now is the final game. Whoever's been on the red side has been winning, and I think right now Bird side on the red. Usually we see the opposite come out. However, this bans, yeah, look at that. They don't want to build the fair miss, do they? Straight off the bat, no fair miss.
Typical. Logi. Fusion. Same. I'm hoping that we just don't see a high-lows. Just ban them already. Then we won't know who wins, you know?
Exactly. Right now, the Hylos is just too expensive of a pick alongside the Bruno. I feel like the Bruno is going to be coming out from either side. It's going to be Birthright, right? They got to ban out the Bruno. But also the Suyo is left open. There's also the Gato, the Sicilian, that Danny has been playing really well. But I think Extremely Slay don't really care for the Sicilian quite a lot. So the Ling didn't really work out for Birthright this time. So will Birthright switch up to a different route? Oh my goodness.
Bam!
Finally.
This is, I feel like this is the only key factor to force red side to not have a great pick in the very beginning. Now, with that being said, what was left out for that ban, right? Matilda is the first pick by the side of Extremely Slay. Though I didn't like them playing it like in this, I think it was like the third game, they pulled it off in this last game really well, to be honest. Like I said, paired with the high-lows, they were able to use the get in and get out method, and that allowed them to take down Birthright quick. Now, how does Birthright respond to that? Are they going to be going the support method? Are they going to pick up the minnow again? Or what is their answer to this?
Go for the Gato Sicilian, right? Just go for the Gato Kacha and Sicilian right now. It's worked in game number 1. It worked in game number 3. You gotta go. Yeah, you gotta go with that route. Yeah, I think that kind of prevents that backline. What's that with the Beatrix? But I think still Extremely Slay will be like, Beatrix worked. Let's go for the Beatrix again. What do you think, G? Beatrix Suyo?
Well, I think we're going to get that answer right here as the Beatrix is already falling in. And then, to be honest, man, I maybe even just popping out a Tigreal here. I mean, nah, you already got the Matilda. Maybe for the side of Birthright, it could be a really good play because that would stop the Matilda. But again, we'd have to really see. To be honest, what I think is playing a big factor into Birthright's fall right now is that they don't know what to do against Mr. Death. Like, his hero pool is fantastic, and he's amazing at a jungle. So, like, they can't really target him. They have to target someone else, and they can't. He's always last pick, so they can't even do it. But then there it is. Birthright does get the Tig, kind of lined it up. Now, if I was from the side of Birthright right here, I would probably be the Aurora. I mean, I also would be banning out from Extremely Slay, ban the Ling. The Ling's been the only thing Birthright's been able to actually properly use in the jungle. You force an alpha play again, and then there's the mistakes that happened.
That is true. But I think they're choking down the gold lane a little bit slowly, the Moskov being taken off. I think Birthright really needs to ban out the alpha, if I'm not wrong. It'll be too much for them to deal with, but then you're playing right into the hands of Birthright Sicilian with the alpha. The Tig is also there, so I'm not sure if they want to let that bait hang over their heads. The Suyo is still left open, but at the same time, I think Joy will be a big factor that they want to take out, because if the Joy goes on towards the Sicilian's not going to have a good day. And also their gold lane or whoever they're looking for could get burst down instantly. So I feel like the Aurora is a really good ban, of course, trying to prevent the anti-dive. But it could also be, oh, the Julian, and they got tricked. They got into their heads, G. Extremely Slay got into the heads of Birthright.
All I know is that we got different EXPs this time. There ain't no dang Hylos into this land. We already see Extremely Slay getting rid of a lot of the marksmen, which again, Birthright really relies heavily on Uric. And to be honest, Mark, they just have to combine to take out Extremely Slay. Now, coming down to this pick right here, do they pick their jungle now or do they wait for a little bit later? What are they going to go?
I think the Ling is being left open, so they probably want to leave that for the last. But I think so far they went for the Ling, save for the gold lane until the end. But are there a lot of gold laners that's available right now? Because the one's being taken off. Moskov, the Bruno, the Beatrix is off the table as well. Granger's left open. They go for the Suyo instead. So they go for the early game snowball in his hands. 50% win rate so far in the MESL. So the early game is there. The mid game is contested with this Gatot, with this Tigreal. The late game with the Sicilian. Extremely Slay. They got to go with something. They go for the Alpha Matilda combination. Mr. Death, known for his Alpha. He's the Grim Reaper when he's on that. Even more dangerous than a Fanny, and finally pick up the Vexana to get some mid lane control. Only 5 picks so far in the MESL. G, aren't you surprised with that? I think it should be picked more often.
I think so as well. And not only is this going to succeed really well against a Tig, because Vexana can interrupt Tig's ults with just basic abilities and dropping in the Knight. Not only that, the Knight's an additional person on the field that you have to deal with. So again, I think they're still relying so heavy on Danny on the Sicilian. Oh, and they pull up a Natan, 4 picks, 0% win rate. Is this what we want in the finals?
Nah, you're playing into the hands. You wanna it's the message is clear from Birthright. We trust in Levi to get that early snowball, at least contest the early game. You're gonna get Mark on this Tigreal to create a separation and rely on Urek and Danny to carry that late game one at a time. The only benefit that a Nathan can bring right now is the fact that Wicked cannot pick up the Wind of Nature, but he's been picking up the Rose Gold Meteor anyway. So with the help of the Guiding Wind, that extra bit of shield might be the difference maker. But come mid-game, the power spike from the side of Birthright would be a problem. And especially the level 4s from the side of Extremely Slay could be extremely dangerous. Because right now the stage is set, G, and I don't know which team to go for. What do you think?
I mean, to be honest, with banning the Hylos, I think it just left everything up in the air at this point, right? And I think what you were saying as well kind of changed a couple things, is that it's just a different lineup this time around. Then Natan is a wild pick, but we'll see in this game.
Yes, because ladies and gentlemen, we are in the MLBB European Seasonal League, day 2 of the playoffs, the finals of the upper bracket, the final game. Each team 2-2 in this best of 5. It's come down all the way to the 5th game, a best of 1 right now, and we want to see who's trying to take the advantage. Purify coming out already from the side of Extremely Slay in the form of Kingsta. As you can see, they are trying to take control of Birthright on the aggression. They want to make sure they give Levi what he's looking for.
Yeah, and now kind of setting the stage here. To be honest, Extremely Slay has a lot of CC. They have the most CC I think I've ever seen in these games coming up here. So to be honest, that's why we see quite a few Purifies built into Birthright's kit. But are those Purifies going to be make it and break it for Birthright? They're sacrificing a couple flickers. Hig's not going to have Purify as well. Could possibly be CC to death. But again, they're kind of choking down on Yurk in the top lane here. What is Extremely Slay going to do? They're going to zone quick and move fast with the Matilda.
Yeah, they are trying to. First the blood already in the hands of Extremely Slay. They wanted the early snowball Birthright, but guess what? One mispositioning from Levi took it all away, and now will that will turn into an objective take as well in the form of this turtle, and seems like Extremely Slay are ahead of the 8-ball with the onward. The Earth Shatter knocked up, and the CC is just being chained on towards him, and my lobby gets taken down, and that is the power of the Vexana. That mid lane control is in their hands indefinitely.
That is the definition of I can't move. That guy was tossed up in the air multiple times, and they just couldn't do anything. My lobby gonna have a hard time. Levi gonna have a hard time. If this continues, their Birthright's gonna have to come up with an answer to stop this, right? Now, we're kind of seeing Birthright push back onto the back foot here as the Hylos being banned out of the drafting phase, which I think was probably the key to Extremely Slay this victory. Possibly going to be coming here, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, Mark hits the level 4. He has the implosion available, but Mr. Death level 7 circling Eagle from Kingstar right now on towards Urek. Nibiru's passion is there. They uses the entropy to get away, so they'll be able to seize at the top lane tier 1 turret one at a time. They will be able to get that full gold plating, and Mark wants to get the set going in their favor. They're trying to catch them off guard. Right now, Hoshi gets caught out in the blade surge. Soul Sever props the flicker as well. We can see the Bat's feet come out, but at the same time, Terrify is there. A little bit too much CC along with the Bennett's Rage. They trade 1 for 1 EXP for EXP, but at the same time, they lose 3. And oh my goodness, the damage coming out, it's too much from the side of Birthright. They take charge. They lose 4. Extremely Slay let their advantage slip.
That's crazy. Levi almost able to get in there and take out Wicked as well. I got to give that up to Danny right there. The Sanguine's claws hooked, saw, and conquered there. First time I've seen the Sicilian kind of change the tides. If they can keep this up, it could be a decimating. Danny, though.
Oh my goodness, Bat's Feast is there to get a Terrify along with the Cursed Blast right now. Hoshi goes in with the Primal Wrath, but Danny's still able to survive. Circling Eagle and Kingsta overextending on towards Danny, but the Wisps finally get the kill on towards Levi. Danny still survives after kiting ever so beautifully. Mark not able to save his teammate whatsoever, and they let go of the turtle once again.
And look, they're already going to be assaulting the blue buff as well. Mark just really can't even do anything about this, as being a Tig, Matilda is just able to out-rotate and outplay you at this point, kind of taking her like some of the items. There's nothing really picked up besides the Malefic Gun is definitely picked up by Wicked. The range is there. The ability to take it to the Natan is there. To be honest, Birthright is going to be pushed back against a wall where they have to utilize these situations to their advantage, right? Being able to take down quite a few of Extremely Slay there at one of the takes was... they got to do that multiple times here, but can they?
Yeah, they really need to do that multiple times indeed, and I think the chain CC from Extremely Slay is going to pay off, but right now on towards Urek, you can see Circling Eel comes in, AOG to create the separation, and they get the CC on towards him, Entropy to try and dish out the damage as well. Danny kiting ever so beautifully with the Bat's Feast. Wicked gets caught out in the implosion, but nobody goes down. They trade HP for HP, but Mr. Dead goes in with the Spear of Alpha, realizes that's not the time to dish out the damage. Levi was just waiting for them to overcommit and hit them from behind, but did not do that. But meanwhile, the top side overextending right now. Urek will get taken down. My lobby couldn't do any single thing, but they trade Hoshik, who overextended a little bit. So that's a good trade for the side of Extremely Slay still. But meanwhile, the bot side, Levi wanted to take down the tier 1 tower, unable to do so without the clear speed. And I think Extremely Slay are ahead of the 8-ball once again.
Yeah, it's definitely coming down to that. Birthright's definitely going to have to be more on the passive. If they can make a really good play with the TIG, could be a possibility. Singling claws are definitely going to have to be a possibility here. So Birthright's going to have to really rely heavily on skills to be able to make, to be able to take the land of Dawn back here, as we've seen every major objective falling right into the hands of Extremely Slay. To be honest, I don't even know if in the mid game, if they're going to have the ability to be able to contest a neutral objective like that, as they are looking for something here. Might be able to get something down, but the
Oh, Mark goes in for the flicker implosion, but at the same time, AOG catches 2, and then that's enough, and they get the kill on towards Wicked. And Levi trying to get Kingsta, but he's able to get out of there using the guiding wind. Entropy from Urek to dish out the damage. Eternal Guardian already taken down, but look, guess what? Mr. Death trying to take free real estate in the top side.
Yeah, but they might be able to take the mid turret as well as they're collapsing on Bubble.
Oh my goodness, the damage, the wave clear from Bubble from this Vexana is just too much, but guess what? They lose one more, but Entropy already used that. I mean, Mr. Death could go in for the damage. Circling Eagle already expended, and right now he has the damage. Mark trying to save the day with the Sacred Hammer. He will be sacrificed along with my lobby, and Urek will be next on the chop and block. Along with Danny, he gets taken down, but Nibiru's passion, and that is the benefit of having that malefic gun, but guess what? Oh my goodness, Urek just a barely survived with the slightest bit of HP and slightest bit of timings as they give up the tier 1 up top, but Kingsta might be taken down. Urek able to clear the tier 2 in the mid lane. And I think this has been back and forth, but I think Extremely Slay, still the aggressor, still on the front foot.
Yeah, I mean, they are on the front foot. Again, they have secured a lot of neutral objectives. But to be honest, the team fights are kind of 50-50. I think it comes down to very great positioning by the side of Birthright. Again, they haven't been able to secure any of the turtles, but the gold lead, about a 2K difference, which is not too bad. They've been able to secure some of the side turrets. Yeah, they lost their mid tower, but they are still trying to grasp and hold on to anything that they possibly can. If they're able to take out Mr. Death here, maybe they're trying something. I feel like the biggest thing that we have seen is Extremely Slay is if Mr. Death is not there, they're not able to succeed.
Oh, and speaking of succeed, they go in for the Circling Eagle, trying to get the engage going on towards Mark to reach the back line. The Lord half HP being reset. This is the Lord Dance. The Tango has already begun. The Curse Blast to poke down Mark. It's about who's going to poke down which tank a little bit more, because right now Mark does not have the heal, but the Guiding Wind is providing that to the side of Extremely Slay, and they get the Lord low enough, but Mr. Dead goes into the back line, catches Danny, Purifies popped already to make sure they get them off guard, but at the same time Mark taking super low. My lobby goes into the straight on towards Wicked with that AOG, but at the same time they lose Levi just before the Lord. Entropy comes out to dish out the damage, but a little too late from the side of Birthright. They will have to run back with the tail sucked between their legs, and Extremely Slay with the advantage with the Lord trying to take this tier 2. We'll be looking at the inhibitor when the Lord is up, because right now Circling Eagle takes then the team fight, but Mr. Dead goes in for the Spear of Alpha. They catch 1 and they catch 2, but Kingsta is sacrificed, so that's good enough for the side of Birthright to try and defend this Lord that's going to be marching on the top side and not proc the holy defense to make sure they will be able to defend this Lord quite easily.
Yeah, this is rough for the side of Birthright. They're still going to possibly hold on. Kingsta kind of diving in there early. I think it was a little premature, right? I think you always should wait for the Lord to come. Might be able to make it back just in time for the team to send out a great assault, as the Lord is slow pushing on the left side. Super minions are definitely going to be coming in next as well, so they could still utilize this to their advantage, you know. But again, it's going to come down to the discipline by Birthright. Can they utilize everything to their ability to defend the siege that Extremely Slay is about to wield on to them?
You can see Kingsta wants to get the fight started. He goes into the back line with the Circling Eagle. Mr. Death is there as well. Hoshe gets a knock up with the Earth Shatter, but the AOG misses completely from my lobby. He gets that on towards Danny. Mark as well with the crown coming in. They get the 2 kills that they're looking for. The front line is down. Only the damage dealers left. And right now the Lord looking quite healthy. Extremely Slay want to call it an end, but at the same time they're trying to dish out the damage. The Lord is still there. The Lord's looking quite healthy. Wicked is not able to get the base, but however Danny's the only one left standing. Will he be able to defend? Because there comes the next set of minion waves. 4 down for the side of Birthright. No Bat's Feast available. Sanguine Claws along with the Bat's Impact trying to end the game. Danny Doolin absolutely brilliant job to keep it alive. Mark comes in, and so does my lobby. That's enough time created for the side of Birthright to make sure they survive, but my lobby goes down. Mark is the only one left standing, trying to buy time. Urek should be back, but the implosion catches 2. Entropy should be used at any single point right now. Birthright survive with the slightest bit of HP. Wicked wants to end the game, and yes, they will, because Extremely Slay take away game number 5 in this best of 5 series in the upper bracket finals.
I am just flabbergasted after seeing what happened in this entire series, man. It's 4 a.m. here, and I don't care what my neighbors think at this point, because this game was absolutely worth the entire hype that was created. It literally just blows my mind to consider the fact that Extremely Slay, a team that qualified from the open qualifiers, made their way through the toughest battles with CR7, Rain Esports, and then moving forward with Light Cavalry, are now the first team to not just qualify in the grand finals, G, but also qualify for the MECL in 2025. What a massive play from this team.